There's a lot of noise out there about Facebook ads for roofing companies. Should you use lead forms? Should you use landing pages, images, or videos? Everyone's confident that they're right, and a lot of people are confused by watching tutorials online. And here's the thing, you hear that someone says that they're spending $50 a day on Facebook instant forms and they're getting 3 to 5 qualified leads, and I've got $250,000 in roof repair, roof replacement leads. And then you're sitting there at $100 a day barely eking out existence. So what's the difference? What's the right Facebook ad setup? Well, that's what this video right here is going to be about. Now, I'm going to probably challenge some things that you've heard online from popular Facebook influencers. And I'm going to ruffle some feathers and challenge some things that you've probably heard online, especially on Facebook. But by the end of this video, you're going to know whether to use images or video, whether to use instant forms or web conversions. You're going to know how to set that up properly as well. And I'm also going to give you the book rate math. That should change how you view what Facebook counts as a lead for each type of campaign type. And I'm also going to show you exactly how we structure our Facebook campaigns for roofing companies. And lastly, the one landing page setting that will quietly wreck your SEO if you miss it. But if we haven't met yet, my name is Preston, this is Results Digital, and we're the leading digital marketing agency for roofing and exterior contractors in the USA. Now, we will only work with one roofer per an area, so if you want to reserve your spot so that we can help you dominate your local area, there's a link in the description. Book a strategy call with us. It's free. Maybe we can work together, maybe we can't. Hopefully we can. Now, on to the lesson. Now, start here, because if you don't understand this, nothing else will make sense. When you think about marketing, there's Google search, or there's Google Ads as they call it, and then there's Facebook, and TikTok, sure, whatever. Google search is a demand-driven enterprise. All right, something happened. A ceiling dripped, hail damage, missing shingle, and it drives the person to some type of search engine. All right, they'll go to Google, ChatGPT, the AI overview, Brave, DuckDuckGo. They type in roof replacement near me, roof repair near me. The point is that they're actively looking for you. There's intent to hire. They're already in a buying mode or a hiring mode. It's bottom of the funnel. And that's what Google search ads are. And that's what LSA is as well, local service ads. But Facebook is different because it's disruptive marketing, right? So there might be demand there, but it's buried. All right, so they did see the drip, right? But then they got busy. They went to work. When they got to work, Rome is burning. And then it left their mind. And here's what Facebook knows. These platforms, they're going to read your emails, they're going to read your conversations, they're going to look at your behavior on your phone. Their AI knows when you're in the market before you act on it. And so they will begin to serve your ad to that person while they're doom scrolling, right? They have a break at work. What are they doing? Doom scrolling. They go to the bathroom and sit on a throne of lies. And what are they doing? They're doom scrolling, right? They're laying in bed after they've kissed their wife or spouse at night. And what are they doing? They're doom scrolling. You're not catching someone who's searching. You're disrupting someone who has a genuine need, but they haven't moved forward yet. So you're disrupting them so that they'll move forward. And that difference right there is going to change everything about how you measure results, how you set your budget, how you structure your campaigns. You have to keep that in your head for the rest of this lesson. Well, then you have the age-old Facebook question. Should you use instant forms or should you use landing pages? Or worse, should you use your full website? Now, I would say the answer to question 1 and 2, instant forms versus landing pages, I think the answer is yes. Use both. And let me explain why. So with an instant form, the user will see your ad, right? Maybe it's a video, maybe it's an image, and they're going to tap the little button, right? The call to action, and then they'll fill out the Facebook instant form. And they never leave Facebook, right? So that's the beauty of it, is that Facebook doesn't lose attribution. It doesn't lose the ability to see that customer's journey because it always keeps them on the platform, right? But instant forms have basically been garbage since their inception. At least that's my opinion, and I'm not shy to say that. I've had the 80 leads that came in and the phone call from the client saying not one of those was legitimate. But Facebook fixed that. All right, and a large way that they fixed it is they added in a phone number verification. So when someone's filling in an instant form, they have to actually confirm their phone number. So they do a text message and they have to put in the code. So that happens even before they even open the form. And then there's conditional logic questions where they have to answer questions correctly. If not, they're disqualified before they can even submit the form, right? And those logical questions are meant to stump someone that's a bot or a spammer. Why Facebook took till 2026 to fix this, it is beyond me, because it's actually made Facebook Instant Forms very delightful. Prior to these changes, Facebook Instant Forms were notorious for bots, for scammers, job applicants, kids on their phone playing Candy Crush that are just trying to close the app, and that's mostly gone. And so that's why I would say Instant Forms are back on the table as a legitimate lead source in 2026. Again, I know I'm going to offend people with that, could care less. That's my opinion and I'm sticking to it. So the other option is driving them to a dedicated landing page, right? And so this is where you're actually, with the ad, you're taking them off of Facebook onto a landing page that you can control, right? There's more commitment required with that. That's the friction. That friction is the filter. And the people who make it through that are usually more serious and more dedicated that, yeah, they actually want a roof quote. And once they're on your site, well, now you can start to retarget them because you're going to put tracking on them and be able to follow them on YouTube, on Google Display, and again on Facebook. And so that's the real beauty of using web conversions, is that you have the ability to retarget those individuals on other ad platforms and also retarget them again on Facebook. And there's more commitment involved with getting them to leave Facebook and actually take a converting action. But let's discuss the book rate, all right? And by booking the book rate, I just mean the amount of leads that you get to the actual amount of bookings that you get. The book rate math works like this. From what I have seen, all right, instant forms are roughly about a 33% book rate. Anyone who tells me, oh, I've got a 50 to 66% book rate, okay, sure, that's great. I also saw a unicorn in my backyard. Web forms, when you're sending them off of Facebook to a landing page, those type of web forms or web calls, you're going to get about a 40 to 45% book rate. If you hit 50% book rate, man, you're crushing it. Now, contrast that with Google Ads, where we have roughly a 75% book rate. All right. The key to this is that you have to measure for qualified leads. And I'll get more into that in just a second. So let's just go with what I said about the instant form cost per lead. Let's just say it's $50 and you have a 33% book rate. And your web form cost per lead is $150, but you have a 50% book rate. Those might land at the same amount per qualified lead once you factor in the booking rate. So I would say don't really use Facebook's dashboard to tell you what your real cost per lead is. It doesn't know what the qualified lead is unless you tell it. And that's why I'm such a huge advocate on whether you're doing Google ads or Facebook ads, you have to measure leads offline. You have to have a platform through which you can vet the leads offline to really learn what your true cost per qualified lead is. Once you as a roofer get the lead and it's a legitimate lead, if you can't book it, but it's a legitimate lead, that's really not on us as an agency. That's on you. You need to learn how to book your appointments better. But this will change how you look at your numbers. And we'll get back to that in a minute. Now, when it comes to creatives, video is the winner every single time, right? That's not even up for debate. But I want to push back hard on something because I see a certain young lady online that is really pushing for using females in your video ads. And just for the sake of using females, that it's going to be a higher conversion rate. I disagree. I completely disagree with that. I believe that business is about building relationships and building a reputation with your local community. I think that the owner of the company needs to be on camera every time. And the reason why is when someone sees your face as the owner over and over again, you stop being a marketer to them, you stop being just an ad, and they start to humanize you. As you start to divulge your experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness by producing good video content that's actually educational as they're going along their roofing journey, and you're producing video content that's helping to educate them and move them along, they humanize you. You start to become trustworthy in their eyes, and they've practically bought from you before they ever call because they already like you, they trust you. And from a practical sense, let me say this. If one of your employees becomes the face of your brand and then they leave, that recognition leaves with them. They could just start their own roofing company, and the audience that they built on your dime, when they start making the videos because you forced them to, they're just going to have an instant audience. The name changes at that point, right? So build your brand around you, the owner, not around anyone that can quit. And I hate the genericness of using women for the sake of women. No, people want to buy from people that they trust and that they like and that they believe are going to do right by them. So you could do that as a man. Now, should you use images? Well, yeah, I don't think there's a problem with using images. The offer has to be in the image. And basically, like with instant forms, the image literally becomes the landing page, right? So the offer has to be in the image, where on a web campaign, the offer would be on the web page itself. Well, in this case, on an instant form, you can use an image in the ad that basically acts like the offer. So one of my clients, $199 roof repair, well, that is the whole message. Maybe you have something that says $500 off roof replacement. It's the same thing. So on your images, have your company name, have the offer, a picture of your work, a call to action. And one interesting development is that Facebook's AI can now animate still images, and it starts to look like a video, and it's worth testing in the ad creative. And let me just say this, I am largely very hesitant to trust Google's AI and Facebook's AI when they want to start to manipulate things, because I know that they usually only have themselves as the recipient of the benefits of their AI, right? So when Google says, hey, just let our AI make all the auto optimizations, it's because they're going to make more money doing that, and you'll make less money. But I've been fiddling around with Facebook's AI as far as it manipulating the images, animating it, doing text overlays, even generating videos from it. And I gotta say, it's pretty impressive what they can do. So I would say test it out. I mean, don't just create it and then leave it. Test it out, see how it appears in your feed. And what you'll find is video will usually win, but the way that they're able to enhance images and actually convert them into quasi videos, you might find that it accomplishes a lot too. Again, make data-driven decisions and let the data tell you what's going to work best. Now, we're going to get into a screen share in just a second, but I want to preface that by saying you need to think about Facebook ads comprehensively, because Facebook should not just run in isolation. I'm not a fan of people that are just Facebook ads companies or just Google ads companies, because I think marketing is comprehensive. And think about a customer journey, right? Think about your own journey to buying something, perhaps. Maybe you saw an ad on YouTube, and then you go to the landing page for YouTube, but then all of a sudden now you're getting retargeted on Facebook, and then you see them again on Facebook, and then you go to another landing page, and then maybe you continue to see videos, and maybe you go over to TikTok, or you go on your favorite gambling website or news website, and now you're seeing the banner ads, right? And then finally, a couple weeks later, you come back and you search for them. Well, that's like a typical customer journey. And so as you're building out your Facebook ads campaigns, what I want to say is I don't think people should get so locked in that I'm just going to run instant form campaigns or I'm just going to run web form campaigns, because I think marketing is more comprehensive than that. And so I think you should take a step back and think through, like, well, how can I mirror what a customer journey looks like as they're trying to make a roofing decision? Also, think about from this standpoint, how many times have you known that you need to do something, but then you put it off because there's more pressing needs? Like, for instance, I know I got to get my roof replaced, but I don't need to get it replaced this week because we're going on vacation. And then by the time you get back from vacation, that's left your mind, right? Well, that's where retargeting comes in, especially on multi-platform retargeting, because you're trying to keep that person warm, right? So structure your Facebook ads in the same way. Now, let me minimize my pretty face so that you can kind of see my screen and I can walk you through how we structure our Facebook ads. So the best setup that we have found again, just to be comprehensive, not to be so isolated and zoned in to just instant forms, or so zoned in and isolated just to web conversions, is to use 3 campaigns, right? So instant forms, again, I would look at this a lot like Google search ads, because Google doesn't lose any ability to track someone when they leave, right? And so we do $50 a day, depending on the budget. I would like to see this at $75 to $100 a day. Shoot, I would like to see it at whatever their cost per lead is. So if their cost per lead is $114 in this case, I'd like to see their daily budget at $115, right? That way it has the budget it needs to work with. One caveat on this: if you find that the quality starts to go down, then drop the budget, because sometimes Facebook will get desperate and it will start showing your ad to people that really aren't qualified. It's just trying to get a conversion, if you will. So we're at $50 a day. That seems to be fine for this client. And so the next one we have is prospecting. So on YouTube ads, we have a prospecting campaign. That's just like the middle of the funnel, slightly bottom of the funnel content. And I would say same type of content as the instant forms campaign. This is driving people off of Facebook to a website, right? And then lastly, the retargeting. This is retargeting people that have visited one of the web pages or landing pages for this client within the last 60 days. And we're just going to start retargeting them. We're only doing a budget of $15 a day, where on the 2 campaigns, prospecting and instant forms, we're doing $50 a day, right? So we just match these two campaigns as far as their budget goes. One thing on the retargeting that I'll note: if your budget is too high, you're going to see this column right here, the frequency start to go up. And what that frequency means is that in this case, it showed the ad 49 times at a rate of once per person. All right, that's fine. If you start seeing this go up to like 2 or 3 people, or 2 or 3 times that this person's seeing this, that's when you need to start wondering, am I spending too much? Am I spending too much on the audience that I have, right? And in this case, we're only retargeting people that have been to one of their pages within the last 60 days. So should give it enough where it's not oversaturating and just hitting them enough. Now, a couple things that you need to be aware of on landing pages. The first is whenever you go into a landing page. Now we're using Go High Level, and this is one of their funnels. This is their Facebook ads funnel. And you always want to make sure that you put a tag in for meta robots, and you want it to be no index and no follow. The reason why is that it will totally screw up the SEO on your main site, on your SEO site. If you allow Google to index this page, you're going to have 2 of their websites competing for the same traffic. This page should only be accessible when it's coming from an ad. The other thing I would tell you as well is, you can see here we have our AnyTrack code. Now we use AnyTrack because it allows us to link in their Google Analytics tag, their Google Ads tag, their Meta Pixel, their Microsoft UET tag, their TikTok Pixel. We can link all that in through AnyTrack. So by putting in this AnyTrack, we're essentially putting in all of their tracking code. And then Google Tag Manager fires off micro conversions and conversions, right? So that's a real important setting to have on all of your landing pages, right? On your main website, you should have, well, in our case, all of the tracking codes plus Google Tag Manager, right? And then the last thing I would say is that on our landing pages, actually there's 2 more things, sorry. The first is, whenever you go to a landing page, all of these forms that you would get right here, they are all going to go into a pipeline in Go High Level, so that we can segment the forms by, and segregate the forms by whether they came from Google ads, Facebook ads, SEO. That way we can measure them offline. The phone number as well, this is not their main phone number. This is a tracking number through call tracking metrics. Again, that allows us to measure the actual conversions offline. Okay, offline conversion tracking. So this is a tracking number. We listen to the phone call. We will either rate it as a lead or not a lead. The form, we rate it as either a lead or not a lead. We do that offline and push the conversion data back to Facebook ads. That way we're able to train the Facebook ads algorithm how to get actual qualified leads. And at the end of the month, when we're reviewing it with our clients, we can actually go in and say, okay, well, you got these qualified form leads, you got these qualified call leads. To the best that we could ascertain, they were real legitimate leads. That gives you your true cost per lead, right? So Facebook right here is claiming $72 per lead, 5 leads at $72 per lead. That may or may not be true. What we use to definitively tell us that is, what are the actual leads that it shows in Go High Level forms for Facebook, and what does it show under call tracking metrics for actual Facebook phone calls? That will tell us our true cost per lead on the Facebook leads that come in. And within the forms, because instant forms are going in here, and you can see, for instance, this one right here, this is a Facebook instant form, right? This one is just one from their webpage. We label it as Facebook ads. So that allows us to know what our actual cost per lead is. Then we can compare the two campaigns next to each other, the instant forms and then also these, to really know, okay, what is our true cost per lead? So like I said, there are a lot of strong opinions on Facebook ads, and most of them get one thing right and miss the rest. I believe the real answer is use both instant forms and web conversions. They're different tools for the same job. I believe that you should always use video, but put the owner's face on it every time. Don't use females only for the sake of using females, and I would strongly encourage you not to use your employees. You can test out images, and you can even test out Facebook's AI. We use 3 campaigns, one for instant forms prospecting, one for web conversions prospecting, and one for web conversions retargeting. And you have to think about that comprehensively. Facebook ads works best when they're running in concert with your Google ads, with your YouTube ads, with your SEO. Now, once again, we're Results Digital, and we only work with one roofing company per market. And right now we have a few slots open if you're interested to work with us. And what I would encourage you to do is book a strategy call. If you're stumbled on this and you're like, hey, I'd rather be a roofer than a Facebook marketer, great, hire us. That's what we're here for. And if you've been watching our content and you haven't booked a call yet, there's a link in the bio. Let's talk, it's free. Now, if you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing to our channel and also liking the video, as it would greatly help the channel. Until next time, Results Digital out.